Yeah, I was happy to to get out of New Orleans with a victory. I thought we played pretty well defensively. Obviously, we were able to get some turnovers and create some scoring opportunities and score some points on defense. Certainly helped us out. We've got another tough challenge ahead of us this week with South Florida coming in here. South Florida obviously won last week, and it's a much improved team. They continue to get better every single week. They've got good players and good scheme with a head coach that's doing it the right way. So we've got an incredible challenge ahead of us.
Take questions for Coach Fuente, please. *1 on your telephone to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We'll take Dan Tortora of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Obviously, at this point in year 2 in the American Athletic Conference, Memphis is playing strong and in first place at this moment. In your mind, what's attributed to the year 2 success from what you learned last year to what you can learn this year about what this team has been able to do and those players that transitioned from last year to this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're a much less selfish group than we were a year ago. It doesn't mean that we're always perfect and that we always do things the right way and always play great, but just as a team, I think we have a tighter group than maybe we had in the past, a group that is truly interested in just getting the job done, not really concerned about who does or doesn't get the credit for it. So, when I watch us practice, I watch our kids interact, that's the feeling that I get a large part is that there's a lot more selflessness going on in our program right now than maybe in the past.
And then as far as one of the guys that maybe hasn't been mentioned a ton this season, at least, in some conversation, but should be, one of the guys that you brought out to represent Memphis, Bobby McCain, and his 15-yard interception return started off your team in your last win against Tulane. And just what you can say about Bobby's growth and then what he's meant to the defense and to the team as a whole when you talk about some of the selflessness.
Well, Bobby's a fantastic worker, first of all. He does a great job in the off-season. Really enjoys the weight room, enjoys the off-season part of it, the kind of the physical nature of it. He's a physical football player. He's not just a guy that wants to line out wide and cover somebody. He really enjoys playing football. And he's a highly intelligent player. He really understands, all the little things that can really help you play better, from how the other team's aligned to splits to on and off the ball, those kind of little kind of things that can kind of stick in your mind that can kind of help you with understanding what's going on. So highly intelligent player, great worker, has been a really good boost for us. I'm just proud of the way he's continued to mature. He's a highly emotional kid, continue to mature and control his emotions and begin to play on a more consistent level for us.
And then lastly, when you talked about the selflessness kind of being the change from year 1 to year 2 in the American Athletic Conference, what do you think is attributed to the selflessness? What kind of brought the players to say, you know what, it's not about me, it's about us?
Well, I like to think that the coaching staff has done a good job of highlighting those things and, kind of driving that point home. But the credit goes to the kids for listening. And I think they've acknowledged that is very important. I think they understand that that's an important part of successful teams and have kind of embraced that aspect of it. And that's been important. So, we've made it a huge emphasis, and the kids have listened. And then we've had good leadership. We've had a good group of seniors here that have been through a lot of bad, rough, tough times and are really hungry to do things the right way. And they've helped set a good example for the younger kids.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You bet.
We'll go next to Brian Moss of TigerSportReport.com.
Hey, Coach. Dan stole a little bit of my thunder with the selflessness there, but when your kids are really focused and they dial out the outside attention, is that more of them doing it on themselves, or as coaches, have you really had to focus on that this year?
Well, we have tried to make it a point of emphasis. I mean, you just know it's coming, and you know it's not specific to the city of Memphis. It's the culture we live in now is overreactionary. We're either overreactionary good or bad. You win one game, you're going to win them all. You lose one game, you're going to lose them all, and that's we've got to do our best, whether things are going really well or things aren't going very well, to understand that that's for other people's consumption. What's for our consumption is how we control ourselves, how we prepare, how we ultimately play, the decisions we make leading up to the game, and then the decisions we make during the game. So, we've tried to make it a pretty big emphasis on staying focused. I think it's a continuing battle. Just because we've done a decent job of it so far doesn't mean we'll do a good job this week. I know we're going to continue to try and find ways to highlight those points to the kids. We try and find something a little bit different every week to continue to drive the points of emphasis home to them. So I hope they continue to listen to the message and believe in the message as we try and finish out the season.
And the wide receiver, the competition there, how pleased are you with the progress over the course of the season?
Well, the biggest thing I want is consistency out of that group, and at times we've had it, at times we haven't. But we've got competition for playing time, which is something we haven't had since we've been here, which I think has generally raised the overall level of play from those kids. There is no superstar in that group. There's no one guy that I think people look at and say they have to defend. They understand that the only way they have a chance for success is to do things the right way and really try and maximize on what gifts they do have. So I'm pleased that we've made progress. I'd like to see it on a more consistent basis.
And the young guys on the defensive line, one that pops out in my mind is Latarius Brady. If you could talk about the young guys and what you've noticed through them throughout the year.
Well, I think Latarius has just been really solid for us. He's played on our special teams. He's done a good job at defensive end. Obviously he backs up Martin, who gets a lot of recognition, but Latarius is a really solid, good, hard-nosed player for us. Ernest Suttles is a freshman that starts for us that I think in time will continue to get better and become a better player. And then Donald Pennington's played a little bit at nose guard for us, another young guy that's filled in for Terry Redden when he needs a blow. So we've got some young guys in there that are starting to get some reps under their belt and starting to get a little bit better.
I appreciate it. See you Saturday.
You bet.
Coach, we thank you for the time today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
No problem. Have a good day.